Mistakes by young players are inevitable in the majors. But it's part of the process, with the promise of a bright future. The Rangers' youth movement was forced due to injuries to their star players. The White Sox, a premeditated rebuild. In the end, it presents an opportunity for names like DeShields, Abreu, Profar, Moncada, Kiner-Falefa, and Anderson. All looking to achieve star power, so that one day we're left saying, I knew him when.
We are here in Chicago, the third leg of one of the longer road trips of the year for the Rangers. Opening game in a 4-game series with the White Sox, a White Sox team that has struggled mightily, and in particular, here at home. Welcome into Guaranteed Rate Field. I'm Dave Raymond alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve for the opener of this series tonight. Bad news for the Rangers. They're coming off that split in Seattle, feeling good about that. But Cole Hamels scratched today for a stiff neck. On the other side of that, more good news, I guess, as you can look at it, is Doug Fister, because of the off day on Monday, pitching on regular rest.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be any problem from Doug. The Rangers knew this yesterday, so he had time to plan for this overnight. We're going to do a little comparison for Doug in his first 5 starts, 1 and 2 with a nice ERA of 2.88. Last 2 starts haven't gone quite so well. He's 0 and 2 in those starts. They've come against the Red Sox and the Astros, 2 of the best teams in the American League. Career against the White Sox, he started 12 times. His record is 4 and 5 with a 4.19 ERA.
All right, so Fister gets the nod again. Regular 4-day rest for him shouldn't be a major issue. For a little more on Doug Fister, though, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, we all know about Doug Fister and his quick delivery. He doesn't take a whole lot of time in between pitches, which is great for the defense. It's also great for his catcher. Robinson Chirino says that he loves the routine that he gets in and the rhythm that he gets in when Doug Fister is on the mound. He said he does have to modify things a little bit, though. He starts throwing down the signs even before the batter gets into the box. And so he does have to modify things slightly when Doug Fister is pitching, but Robinson Chirinos welcomes that pace, and of course, too, so does the Rangers defense, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. And today, even though this is a White Sox team that has struggled, there are some hot hitters in this lineup, and Jose Abreu chief among them.
Yeah, Jose Abreu is the one veteran in this lineup, and he's a good one. He's an all-star caliber player. You don't know as much about him playing here for the White Sox, but this guy can hit. In his first 4 years, he's averaged 300. In all 4 years, he's had at least 25 home runs and 100 RBIs, and he's been hot lately. In his last 10 games, he's hitting 366. From the leadoff spot, Yoan Moncada has been one of the most highly touted young players in all of baseball. He's been hot himself, hitting over 300 in the last 3 weeks. Combination of speed and power out of the leadoff spot. His .857 OPS out of the leadoff spot, 4th best in the American League.
Yeah, they've got some very interesting players in their lineup, guys who have been hitting the ball pretty well lately. You know, one thing is you want to be in your seat when this thing starts. At top of the order to Shields and Chu. Well, there might be a reason that they get off to a good start tonight. In the spotlight when we come back.
Rangers baseball is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser, a legendary lager for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this Bud's for you. And by South in Chicago on the south side, getting set for the opener of this 4-game series. Yes, there's that skyline. Well, we teased our Shiner Box spotlight as we went to break. And the reason you don't want to leave your seat early in this broadcast, take a look at these guys. This is who the Rangers are going to see in this series. Shields tonight, Fulmer, Giolito, and Lopez. But look at the bottom there, the .923 earned run average in the first inning. That is second worst in Major League Baseball, and maybe a sign that the Rangers can get out to a quick start, not just in this one, but in all 4 of these games. The first of 4 tonight, as we take another look at this beautiful city up north. Stay with us. Starting lineups, first pitch, Rangers and White Sox coming up. Trip through the Windy City for the Texas Rangers this year. And you already know the situation at starting pitching. Doug Fister sneaking in here today to get the start. Cole Hamels scratched with the stiff neck. Meanwhile, time for a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers tonight against that man James Shields. It'll be Delano to Shields leading it off in center field. Shin-Soo Choo, the DH, bats second. Jerks and Profar at shortstop. And then in the heart of the order, Mazzara at cleanup in right field. Gallo in left field bats fifth. And Kiner Falefa at third base again. Odor, Chirinos, and Ronald Guzman round things out tonight for the Rangers. 17 wins and 27 losses.
Now to take a look at the pitch arsenal for James Shields. A lot of fastballs, almost 60% fastballs. A lot of curveballs. When he's pitching well, he has a really good changeup, and occasionally he'll mix in a slider.
So he's ready to go. Shields' 9th start of the year. He did pitch once in relief as well for the White Sox. He has the 1 win this year against 4 losses and a .544 earned run average. That win was opening day at Kansas City. But as has been the case in his long career, he is the guy they can count on every time to pick them 6, 7 plus innings in every start. And he gets us underway today with a strike in there to Shields. I see Delano's numbers. This is 25th game of the year. And like a lot of Rangers hitters right now, when you look at the overall numbers, you know, you might be slightly moved by one item or another. But the reality is a lot of them in the last week or two, the numbers don't look very good. Some slumps going, although they scored some runs in that series in Seattle. Kind of hard to figure because you look at a guy like Delano yesterday had a double, but that snapped an 0 for 14 for him. Take it a little further, the last 8 games, just 5 hits and 30 at-bats. Put some pressure on Banny and company. Figure out ways to get creative, try and score some runs, give those pitchers a shot. 1 and 2.
Pretty good slider right there from James Shields. I remember when it was big game James Shields in the old days when his fastball was anywhere from 92 to 95, and he was more of a fastball changeup pitcher back then. He had to make a few adjustments along the way in his repertoire. His fastball doesn't have the same velocity that it used to. That happens to a lot of pitchers, and then you kind of enjoy the success that you're able to create by improvising, by utilizing your complementary pitches a little bit more. Been a little bit of a struggle so far this year, although his opponent's batting average is pretty solid at .239.
2 and 2 to Delano. James Shields, to your point, been around a little bit. Was 16th round pick by Tampa Bay back in 2000. Came up with the Rays, made his debut 2006. Pitched in some really heady years down there in Florida, and he strikes out to Shields looking to start the game tonight.
I said his velocity is down, and he popped that last one right at the knees, right at the lower part of the strike zone at 93 miles an hour. So there's still a little bit left in the tank. Pretty good pitcher's pitch right there. Delano not too thrilled with the call, but Shields threw it where he wanted to.
So now Chu, 1 for 5 yesterday, and bounces this one up the middle, but Anderson right there on top of it. 2 away.
Take a look at the defense for the White Sox. Nicky Delmonico is in left. Leury Garcia, former Ranger, is in center field. Trace Thompson is in right field. In the infield, it's Yolmer Sanchez at third. Tim Anderson's at shortstop. Yoan Moncada is at second. Jose Abreu's at first. And behind the plate is Wellington Castillo.
Well, base is empty for Jurickson Profar. Jurickson with a .231 average. Got a double yesterday. The Rangers win in the finale in Seattle. 6 for his last 21, though, on this road trip. And he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Another of the bright young players for the Rangers, and getting a lot of time at shortstop right now with Elvis Andrus on the shelf. A bouncing ball to the right side of second base, but the shortstop Tim Anderson is there. So it's a 1-2-3 top of the first for Tim Shields, and now Doug Fister ready to go to work. will get their first looks of the night. And Doug Fister, Yoan Moncada, their second baseman, leading things off here tonight. If you go through the White Sox hitters' notes, and really pretty much all 9 guys in the order tonight, you see a note or two that would indicate, hey, this is a guy who's starting to put it together a little bit. And you wonder how in the world they've lost 9 of their last 10 games. They have.
Well, one thing you showed earlier is what they hit and what the pitcher's ERA is in the first inning. So maybe they're hitting okay, but they're so far behind after the first inning they can't catch up.
He kind of lines this one out into right field, and so he is on to start the bottom of the first. All right, well, the rest of the White Sox lineup, Yolmer Sanchez now batting second. Jose Abreu at first base, that's third. And Nicky Delmonico, the cleanup man, in left. Then it's Davidson, Castillo, Garcia, Tim Anderson, and Trace Thompson down there at the bottom of the order. Yolmer Sanchez, .294 average. And he takes one outside. Here's the guy the last 12 games hitting .354. Just as an example, one of those little tidbits that you dig up. 17 hits and 48 at bats. So the month of May has been good to him. Kind of drawing a little attention over at first, and they will run. White Sox have run and done so aggressively and with a decent amount of success. To that end, Fister will work a little harder to keep him close. Kind of has 4 steals.
Moncada's been one of the top 2 or 3 prospects in all of baseball the last 2 or 3 years. He's got that combination of speed, power, hitting out of the leadoff spot. And the last 3 weeks he's been hot. Stolen bases, the White Sox have been right at the top of the league most of the season. They're tied with Seattle right now with 32 stolen bases.
And there's a strike that'll even things up at 2-2 on Yolmer Sanchez.
When the White Sox made a lot of their trades over the last couple of years, they did so with the future in mind. They traded veteran players for young players, and they got some of the top players in all of baseball, 5 or 6 of the top 100, as a matter of fact. Moncada was one of them. He came from the Red Sox. So they have high hopes that he'll anchor the top of their order for many years to come.
He got his call up last year in July 19th, and really did a nice job. He takes off, and there's a fly ball out to center field. So DeShields will get there underneath that one. And Moncada has to return to first, 1 away.
Take a look at the pitch arsenal for Doug Fister. Doug will throw a fastball 64% of the time, and it's a 2-seam fastball, has good movement, good sinking action to it, and then about an equal dose of curveballs, split fingers, works as a changeup, and his cut fastball. So he's going to try to get the sinker ball down low and get a lot of ground balls.
Abreu goes right after the first pitch, not going to carry for him, and DeShields right there to make the second out of the inning.
And one thing's hard for us to appreciate, Dave, because we've had pretty good weather everywhere we've been, but the weather the first month and a half of the season has just been brutal in the Midwest, the East Coast. The White Sox hitters have been hitting in less than ideal hitting conditions. I don't think any hitter enjoys hitting in the cold. This feels cold to us tonight, but I guess to everybody here in Chicago, this is a mild day.
Yeah, 55 degrees at game time. Feels like about 30. To those of us from warmer climes, I guess. Here's Nicky Delmonico. Left-handed hitter. numbers don't jump off at you about Delmonico so far, and he's maybe the one guy where you could say, and not just looking at the overall numbers, but even lately, it hasn't gone as easily for him. 3 hits in his last 24 at bats. Pfister from the stretch, and it's 1-1. You're talking about all the trades, moves they made last year here on the south side with the future in mind. They traded during the season. They traded away 9 players off their 25-man roster. Swing and a miss makes it 1-2. And so what they've done then is they've created a real young ball club. For that man, Rick Renteria, second-year manager here in Chicago. It's the youngest in the American League by average age, under 28 years old. These White Sox. Count stays 1-2. So they've got a young roster and some very high ceiling talent. You're talking about Yohan Moncada, Yolmer Sanchez, another one. And some other guys we'll see tonight, guys like Tim Anderson.
And several of those players they acquired are still in the minor leagues, getting seasoning in the minor leagues. So over the next couple of years, their hope is there'll be several more to integrate into the big league lineup, into their rotation. See how it works for them. You can have all the prospect. Whoa, got him.
Moncada a little too far off the base. Beat him by a mile, but he's asking him to check it in the dugout.
Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Might be one of those, whichever way they called it in the first place. Let's see what the White Sox want to do.
Pfister and company waiting to get an official indication.
White Sox are taking a long look at it themselves.
And you have a limited amount of time to make that decision.
They seem like they've taken their share. Nope, they're not going to check it. Goes as a pickoff.
All right, so the inning is done. Both teams go scoreless in their half of the first.
A season full of injuries for these Texas Rangers, but some good news coming from the injury front today involving Mr. Elvis Andrus, who was actually involved in baseball activities for the first time since hurting his elbow, or since breaking his elbow. He did some light drills as far as throwing, catching with and without the brace. And talking to Elvis afterward, he said he was more nervous today than he was for a game because he was just anxious to see how that elbow would respond. So far, so good. Still June 11th before he can come off the DL, but definitely a positive sign today, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. And that is really good news. This next pitch to Mazar, wrapped down to first. And Abreu takes care of it, one away.
I know Elvis was anxious to get back out there, and he probably feels great, but I think what's going to happen to him, since he can't come back for a little less than a month from now, probably the last week or 10 days, he's going to be really antsy to get back in the lineup. And by the time he does, it'll be a great feeling for him. He's a guy that you could count on his first years in the big leagues to be out there every day. He'd get a day off every now and then, but never because he was hurt. And this is something new for him to be able to handle this.
Joey Gallo steps in here. I think that since he was the opening day starter in 2009 at shortstop, I want to say the Rangers' most consecutive games played without him starting at short was 4 or 5.
Was it?
Yeah. And so that is now long erased with a much longer stretch now. But that's a lot of consistency.
Elvis misses playing. The fans miss seeing him out there, and so do we. Looking forward to his return.
Oh, fouled that one off twice.
And the other thing, Elvis, he's coming off 2 years where he really established himself as a star. Offensively, hitting around 300, hit 20 home runs, knocked in almost 90 runs. And this year he's off to a great start. He only had 52 at bats, but in those 52 at bats, he was hitting 327. Had a couple of home runs already. Pretty much picking up right where he left off.
One of a handful of surprising, very big injuries in this first half for the Rangers. And there's a swing and a miss. Gallo strikes out, 2 away. Checking again with Emily.
And also some big news for Elvis as he and his wife Corey revealed that they are expecting their second child, which will be born in the offseason. So congrats to Corey and Elvis. Great. And Elvis Emilio, who will be a big brother.
Yeah, that's the big news. That's a guy who really has a lot to look forward to. This little fella. Well, 5 up, 5 down for James Shields, and now Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who had a couple of hits and a walk yesterday in Seattle, scored 2 runs. In fact, that was a great series for Kiner-Falefa. Just 2 games, but he was all over the place.
Well, Shields, in his last 6 appearances, 5 of them were starts. 1 of them was a short relief appearance. He's 0-4 with an ERA over 6. He looks a lot better so far in this game after 5 batters than he has his last 5 starts. Pretty sharp with everything today. Sharp with his fastball and his off-speed pitches.
Kiner-Falefa takes a cut. He's been getting it in play against right-handers, 6th in the majors with that percentage. That's a really high rate. He swings here, he puts it in play, and that's a base hit. So he keeps that little trend going. And Kiner-Falefa, first base hit of the night, first base runner for the Rangers.
He was able to wait on that off-speed pitch long enough to, even though he hit it a little bit toward the end of the bat, still hit it well enough. Pretty good pitch, really, down and away. Curved ball, hit it well enough to sneak it over shortstop into left field for a 2-out single. If the Rangers put him in motion at all with 2 outs and nobody on, 1 man on.
Isaiah with a couple of stolen bases, not going, and Odor takes one low for a ball. Rugi right at the Mendoza line now. Activated from the disabled list last Friday. 3 hits so far since coming back. 1 for 4 yesterday. A little bit of a shift on the infield for him. And it's 2-0. Dropped down a bunt for that hit yesterday. And with these shifts, more and more, that becomes the topic of conversation. I bet bunts are talked about more today than ever before, even though they're the least used weapon in anybody's offensive arsenal. They get more conversation just because of these shifts. Rugi's always been a great power hitter. Since coming up, he has shown outstanding power for a diminutive second baseman, and yet he has also always been a very good bunter. Fairly unique combination of skills. He's ahead here 3-0. And so to that end, I think it actually is kind of worth the conversation point with Rugi, because he can do it so well. You know, you talk about it with guys like Gallo and say, well, but that's just not what he does. He doesn't bunt. He may not be real comfortable doing it. We do know that Odor has done it a lot in the past, and with pretty good success. He's taken 3-0, and that's a walk.
No, she was way off the mark. 5 up, 5 down with a couple of strikeouts, and then after kind of Falefa singled to left field, Odor walked on 4 pitches. A couple of them weren't even close.
Look on his face says everything, but you look at that number right there. Worst walk rate for any team in Major League Baseball. Nearly 12% for these White Sox pitchers.
You look at some of the numbers for the guys we're going to see in this series. Lucas Giolito, 41 2/3. He's walked 32 batters in 41 innings. Fulmer's walked 19 in 30 innings. A couple of young guys getting a chance to have some on-the-job training at the big league level. Having a hard time locating home plate so far.
In fact, after that 4-pitch walk to Rugi, he goes 1-0 on Robinson Chirinos.
Third pitcher, Reynaldo Lopez, has walked 21 in 46 innings. So all 3 of the youngsters are prone to wildness. Have to keep an eye on that in the next 3 games.
1-1 the count. Chirinos walked yesterday, right? Probably wasn't in the lineup yesterday. Came in as a pinch hitter. Walked and struck out in his 2 times up. Meanwhile, the opening game in Seattle on Tuesday matched a career high with 3 hits. It's this ball high in the air out to center. Garcia, though, with a ton of room, and the inning is done. So the Rangers leave a couple of them out there. We've played 1.5 so far tonight. No score.
System. Joey Gallo's in left. Delano DeShields in center. Nomar Mazzara is in right field. In the infield, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will start at third. Jurickson Provar again at shortstop. Rugi's at second. Ronald Guzman, the Condor, is at first base. And behind the plate is Robinson Chirinos.
Well, here is Nicky Delmonico. He was at the plate when Moncada was picked off in the first inning. Pfister goes right after him very quickly, and the count is 1-1. Delmonico, mentioned earlier, one of the guys who off to a slower start for this team. Last year, in just 43 games, he hit 9 home runs. He's got some power. And he hits this ball hard out to center field. DeShields started back, now comes in, goes into a dive, and that one is in front of him. Well, he looped back on it, maybe feeling that Delmonico hit that one better than he did. And I'll be honest with you, I think I was as fooled as he was. I thought he got a pretty good swing on it.
Well, for the center fielder, what happens a lot of times is the batter with some power takes his normal swing, and off the bat, it appears to the outfielder like he elevated it and was going to have some distance to it. But he hit it a little bit toward the end of the bat, which kind of deadened it, didn't jump off his bat. And it was turned into like a lazy little pop-up to center field instead of a ball that's hit solidly to deep center field. And while you're trying to judge the ball being hit off the end of the bat with a big swing, you take a little bit of a step back and then don't have time to recover, even with the quickness and speed that Delano has to make the catch. From time to time, you'll see that happen to a center fielder. More so than left and right.
Well, Davidson swinging a pretty good bat, pops this one up though, and Guzman right there, so one away. Well, it's time now for our Coors Light refreshing finish. How about the end of the game yesterday? What a great play by Profar. Odor with the bare hand and the turn. That was nifty.
Yep, the more Jurickson plays day to day to day, more consistent he's becoming, and you're starting to see his athletic ability allow him to make some well above average plays like that. That was a big play. Looked like a base hit off the bat.
So now one out. Here is Wellington Castillo. Castillo batting 6th tonight for the White Sox. This is his second year here. He played for his manager here, Rick Renteria, on the north side when he was with the Cubs. Part of the reason that he decided to sign with the White Sox was that relationship he had with Renteria. Last year, had a really nice season with 20 homers and 53 RBIs. High strike, 1-1. Pfister likes to work pretty quickly. And it's interesting because in that first inning, he threw over to first a couple of times. Got to be wary of their speed here. Kiner-Falefa at a second for one. On to first. And they went the long way around the horn for the 5-4-3 double play.
Well, Kiner-Falefa knew that he had to get rid of this quickly if they were going to turn it. He did. Odor had to do the same, and they were able to turn it. Very nicely done.
Your Rangers in action against the Yankees in a 3-game series, May 21st to the 23rd. Now, great seats are still available for that series, and you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. Only time Yankees come through town. So that'll be fun on this next homestand. Meanwhile, here, Ronald Guzman will start things off in the 3rd against James Shields, and he hits his ball hard out to right field. That's a base hit. So right before we got to this 3rd inning, real nice defensive play to get us there.
Well, it was going to take a quick throw, which Isaiah did, and an accurate throw. Ruge had time just barely to get out of the way of the base runner and get it to first base. Took a little bit of advantage because it was the catcher running, but that doesn't take anything away from how nicely they turned that. Had to do it as quickly as they could to have any chance, no matter who was running.
Now to Shields, and he will bunt it. James Shields comes off the hill to field it, and the sacrifice a good one. So Guzman to second base with 1 out. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John.
Joey Gallo hit his 13th the other day. Get up there.
There's a ground ball and through into right center field. Here comes Ronald Guzman. The throw of the plate up the line, and Guzman is in there with the first run of the game.
A strong throw by the center fielder. He really put something on that ball. Larry Garcia. He came up with the Rangers more as a middle infielder. But the ball by Chu just evades the defensive player. They're shading him a little bit. Can't quite get to it. And watch Garcia come in and fire this ball. Ronald Guzman needed every bit of the speed that he has to sneak in there on a base hit by Chu. Oh, a good start for the Rangers.
So 1 out and Chu at first. Profar up there, and he'll foul this one back. So a run scores set up on that sacrifice by Delano to Shields. Guzman swung at the first pitch of the inning. Came over the base hit to right field. Delano sacrificed him on the first bat he saw, and then Chu on the first pitch rolled it into center. Profar pops this one up, and Garcia comes in from center to make the play. 2 away. Profar swung at the first pitch and the second pitch. So Rangers have been very aggressive here against James Shields. Thrown 5 pitches, and they've hacked at all of them, and it has worked so far. Good strategy. Let's see if the same holds true now for Nomar. Maz grounded out to start the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Zara in double digits in home runs this year. He and Gallo. Ten homers to go with his 26 RBIs. And he does not swing at the first pitch.
Take a look at the hot zone for Nomar this year. Looks like if you want to get him out and you can hit the upper outside corner or the lower outside corner, gives you your best chance, but you definitely want to keep it away from the middle of the plate or the inside part of the plate.
1-1 to count.
That may be what the hot zone says right now, but as time goes on, I wouldn't think that pitches on the outside part of the plate are going to give Nomar that much of a problem. His style of the plate, which is not to try to pull the ball, should lend itself to being able to hit the outside pitch well. Last year, I would say that you wanted to pitch him up and in. This year, that's definitely not the case. He's been turning those pitches around all season long.
Set up in.
There's another one that's inside right there. Got out in front of it a little bit, but got some good exit velocity on it. So the catcher sets up in. A little bit of a cut fastball, inside corner. According to the hot zone, that would be a spot that Nomar likes to have the ball pitched to.
He's swinging with a lot of confidence these days. So he feels really comfortable up there. Gets that one in, 2-2. Problem is the last 4 games, just 2 hits and now 19 at bats. You take a sample of games that small though, and that doesn't necessarily tell you everything. You got to be making real good contact and just not have them fall in. And mostly you're concerned with how the guy feels up there. "23 years old. Shields and Castillo pretty deliberate in deciding what to do here. Now a bouncer, and that one right near second base. So Moncada takes it to the bag himself. The inning is done, but the Rangers get the first run of the night. They lead 1-0. With you wherever you go. So if you can't catch the games on TV, not a big deal. You can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app, presented by T-Mobile. Okay, here's Garcia, and Pfister finds the inside part of the plate for strike one. It'll be Garcia, Tim Anderson, and Trace Thompson. Bottom third of the order for Chicago. This one lined by third, and a base hit for Garcia. And for the 3rd inning in a row, the White Sox get a leadoff single.
Well, Garcia takes the ball just like he should, tailing away from him and down, waited on it, slapped it into left field. In fact, hit it a little more than slapping into left field. He drove it into left field. After the leadoff hit in the first inning, a couple of fly balls and then a pickoff of Moncada got Doug Fister out of the first inning. Then in the second inning, double play by Wellington Castillo got him out of the inning. We'll see if he can duplicate that here in the third after a leadoff single.
Now, tough to double this guy up. Not that there might not be a double play in this inning somewhere else, but Tim Anderson, a very speedy shortstop. 1-1 the count. 24 years old. He was a first-round draft pick in 2013. Trying to keep Garcia close. Garcia also has stolen 6 bases in 6 attempts. So Fister dealing with some speed today. One and two the count. Last year was Anderson's first full year in the big leagues. And it was a slow start for him. He was dealing with a kind of a personal issue of his. He lost his best friend from high school. And it weighed heavily on him most of the year. Runner leads, and this one fouled away again. But boy, when he put it together at the end, he added 20 points to his batting average in the last 2 months of the year. He got going a little bit. Free swinger. He's improved on some of the numbers from last year in 2018, but he was almost an automatic strikeout last season. Fister ahead of him here, 1-2. Souvenir. So how about this number last year for Tim Anderson? His strikeout. So he didn't walk very much. That's one part of it. 13 walks and more than 600 plate appearances.
That's more than not walking very much. That's not part of the program right there.
Yeah, that's well said. 1-2 pitch. Did he swing? No. On the appeal, it's 2-2. So that's one part of it. When you don't walk, it's going to certainly skew the strikeout to walk ratio. But his strikeout to walk ratio last year was 12.46. That means he struck out 12.5 times for every time he walked. By far most in Major League Baseball. Second in Major League Baseball, Alcides Escobar, 6.8.
Wow. Yeah, when you see 13 walks for a guy that's played every day, that's incredibly low. The good news is he only walked 13 times last year. This year he's already walked 12 times, so he's made a huge improvement. Yeah. If he keeps this up, he's going to walk 4 times. He's going to walk 50, 55 times, which would be an enormously solid performance for him based on what he did last year.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out here, so 1 away in the third.
Yeah, pretty good pitch from Doug as he runs the sinker down and in. Nice pitch. See the movement. That ball came in on him and really went down.
So that's the first strikeout tonight for Doug Fister. And it brings up the 9th place hitter, Trace Thompson. Doug yanks that one wide. A slow start to the year for Thompson. You see the average pretty skinny there at 107. Keep a close eye on Yuri Garcia. 2-0 the count. Thompson from a very athletic family. Michael, his older brother, played for the Lakers. And Clay, a world champion with the Warriors. He takes a strike. It's 2-1. So I think when you have, two brothers who maybe are that level at any particular sport, I'd say Trace Thompson did kind of what I would do, right? I would find my own thing, my own little niche to carve out. It'd be hard to stand up to those two guys. I bet he can hold his own.
I wonder if Clay can hit a baseball.
Yeah, well, probably not anywhere.
Based on what I've seen, I'd say there's a much better chance that Trace can shoot a three-pointer than his brother can hit.
This one dumped into center field for a hit. Thompson with his first hit of the night, 4th of the evening for the White Sox.
Thompson gets a pitch out over the plate and solidly hits it into center field. A struggle for him early in the year, but that was a well-hit ball for him.
So a couple of base runners now, and Yohan Moncada, the leadoff man to the plate. Moncada had the base hit in the first, and he takes inside here. All right, our Kubota power stats tonight. Doug Fister with runners in scoring position, a 182 average. That's the lowest on the team. In fact, 6th lowest in the American League. So he's done a really good job working out of the stretch in spots like this. Two and 0. Kind of guy last year who was also oftentimes a victim of the strikeout. And I think you could argue has improved a little bit in that regard. Last year his strikeout rate was like 32%. It's pretty steep. Now he's got 50 strikeouts this year.
Pretty steep this year too. I'm not sure what the percent is.
You know what? It's going to be right in that same neighborhood.
Might be higher.
Might be. Even with that, though, last year, all the strikeouts had an on-base percentage of .357. So, still finding his way on. This year has an on-base average of .350.
Yeah, for a leadoff hitter, especially one that looks like he's going to have the kind of power that Moncada has. If your on-base percentage is above .350, I would say that reflects positively on the job you're doing.
Watch, a close one there. It's a full count. Job by Chirinos back there. Keep that one in front of him and keep the speedsters in place. White Sox, we showed the numbers earlier. They lead the league in stolen bases. They've got a lot of speed up and down this lineup. Trace Thompson there at first. Garcia out there at second with 6 steals already this year. 3-2. Runners are going. That's strike 3. Throw down to second, not in time. It's a double steal. But Moncada strikes out for the second out of the inning.
The catcher in this situation many times has a better chance to get the guy stealing second than third. I think the guy at first tends not to get the same jump as the guy at third base. Robinson felt like he had no chance at third base for Garcia, and I don't think that he did. Probably had a better shot at second base had he made a good throw to get Trace Thompson.
So a couple of base runners in scoring position, but 2 outs now. Yolmer Sanchez 0 for 1. Wide out to center field back of the first inning and turns away from that one. Sanchez just 25 years old, and he swings and misses. Out of Venezuela, signed in 2009 as an amateur free agent. Guy who has given them some defensive flexibility here in Chicago. Lines this one over first, but foul. Garcia third, Thompson at second base. Pfister with 2 strikeouts in the inning. And the 1-2. Did he go? No,
that was
very
close.
Angel Hernandez down there at third base wouldn't ring him up.
Definitely had a little bit of a flip of the bat right here. Well, he definitely stopped it in time too. Good call by Angel Hernandez down to third base.
That's strike 3 called, and Pfister strikes out the side in the third, and he strands 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, he did get the call on the check swing, but he dropped the curveball in right on the inside corner for strike 3 to end the inning.
Kiner, Falefa, and Odor. Joey 0 for 1, struck out in the second inning. And James Shields, first pitch. There's a bunt, third base side, but foul. All right, so there was. Put the whole world on the right side. Gallo sees a base hit just waiting for him over there. And looked pretty comfortable.
I'd love to see him try it. He'll get more comfortable as the season goes on. And leading off an inning, close game like this, it's not a bad idea.
This one lifted high in the air out to short left field, and twisting around to get his way underneath it. Sanchez makes the catch. 1 away.
And the left fielder, Nicky Delmonico, kind of happy that the infielder was able to go out and make that play. I don't think he saw the ball out in left field. The lights seem to be a little bit brighter everywhere in the infield, and infielders tend to pick those pop-ups up, pick them up better than outfielders do. Watch the left fielder as he gets toward the ball. See his arms go out. He's not sure where the ball is. Frequently, when the time of day is right about now and it's gray and the ball blends in the sky, the outfielder will yell into the infielder, hey, if you can see it, come get it, because I'm having a hard time picking it up.
Kiner Falefa takes inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Isaiah had a base hit in the second. The first of 3 Rangers hits so far tonight. And he hits this one well out to left field, but Delmonico sees this one, and there are 2 gone. Hey, don't miss the T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend. Coming out to the ballpark on May 25th. The Royals and Rangers is our ball game, and then afterward, one of those great post-game fireworks shows set to the music of Star Wars. Fans can get $16 upper reserve tickets for the game thanks to Fox Sports Southwest and T-Mobile. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials. Purchase your tickets for T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend. Okay, 2 gone. Base is empty now, and here is Rougned Odor. Walked in the second inning. And looks like he was thinking about a bunt.
If Rugi could lay the bunt down every time that he laid down yesterday against the left-handed pitcher, he'd have as many bunt hits as he wants. That was a perfect bunt. And right now, if he can get it by James Shields and bunt it towards second base, the only guy that's got a shot at it is Anderson, who's playing right near second base. And if he can make Abreu go to his right and field it, then he's got a pretty good chance to beat Shields to the bag, if that's what he chose to do. But you're not quite as inclined to bunt with nobody on and 2 outs, especially if you've got some power. This is a position where rather than getting a single and depending on the guys behind you to get a couple of hits to get a rally going with 2 outs, I think most managers would say take your best swing, see if you can drive one for an extra base hit. Now, if you can bunt for a hit and steal second base, that's like hitting a double.
That's true too. Odor strikes out swinging. 3rd strikeout for James Shields, but the Rangers still lead 1-0. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer. All right, bottom of the 4th inning. Heart of the order coming for the White Sox, though. They're 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Doug Fister has held the White Sox scoreless so far on 4 hits. Pressed into duty a day earlier than he had anticipated. He goes right after Abreu with strike 1. Cole Hamels was supposed to start tonight, but scratched with a stiff neck. And tomorrow's starter kind of up in the air at the moment. 0-2 on Abreu.
Abreu's been one of the most consistent power hitters the last 4 years. He's had at least 25 home runs, at least 100 RBIs all 4 years. He's averaged 331 home runs and 103 RBIs, 36 doubles. That's what he's averaged his first 4 years in the big leagues.
1-2 pitch, and he hits this ball on the ground, right side, but Odor snares it and takes care of Abreu for out number 1. Really nice play.
Abreu hits the ball on the barrel of the bat more often than not. He uses the whole field. Behind in the count, going to right field, and Ruby takes a base hit away from him. Not only did he have to go far to his left, he had to catch this last hop right there. Nice play to get the first out of the inning. White Sox had the leadoff hitter on first base with a base hit in all 3 innings. Ruby took a base hit away from Abreu leading off the 4th.
And so now Nicky Delmonico, one of those leadoff hits tonight. Head here 2-0. Well, the White Sox team 10 wins, 29 losses. 9.5 games back of Cleveland in the division. It's the worst start in franchise history.
Yeah, they're 9.5 games behind, and the first place team's 500.
Good breaking ball in there for a strike, 2-1. You know, there are a lot of numbers. You look at Rick Renteria and what he's dealing with right now. There are a lot of numbers in a start like that that are kind of amazing. Line drive to second. Odor hauls it in, 2 away. To me, though, maybe the most stunning of the numbers is the fact that they have 3 wins here at home. We're almost 2/3 of the way through the month of May. Is that about right? A little past midway point in May. They have 3 home wins. That's rough. 3 wins, 15 losses here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Matt Davidson. So last year, this White Sox team, they traded away 9 players from their 25-man roster, and they lost 95 games. That's a tough way to go in your first year. Renteria, though, I think widely regarded as having handled it very well, kept it real positive around here. They've tried to foster the young players. And, you know, from the outside, I'm sure there's frustration here among the fan base on the south side of Chicago. But from the outside, I think a lot of people see that there's some good young players on the way, and you could see where the White Sox could be a real threat in the next couple of years. 2-2. Fister just missed. Two outs, nobody on. And a bouncer at third base. Tanner Falefa backs up, shows off the arm, and takes care of Davidson. The inning is done. A 1-2-3 for Doug Fister. And we go to the 5th inning. It's 1-0. Coming out to the ballpark Memorial Day weekend, Rangers and Royals. The first 15,000 fans to the game on Sunday, May 27th. We'll get that Rangers cap, courtesy of Carter Blood Care. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, 5th inning. James Shields has given up the 1 run so far tonight on 3 hits. His first offering to Robinson Chirinos. This is for ball 1. Robbie hitting 193. Well, how about this right here? Another shift on a right-handed hitter. I mean, that's a pretty decided shift.
Yeah, that's a shift all the way around, too. That's the infield shifting over and the outfield way over as well. Everything about that shift says pull hitter on the ground and in the air.
One and one the count. One outside. So when we started seeing these shifts, now we're going back now some years, maybe even 10 years, when you'd see it occasionally to left-handed hitters. I always figured that was a little bit of a tip-off on how you were going to be pitched. But I say that, and Shields was trying to carve off a little part of the outside corner that time. Here comes a 2-1, and then you come inside. 3-1. Chirinos flied out in the 2nd inning. For 1 so far. Should get something decent here. And he takes ball 4. So a leadoff walk in the 5th. Now Ronald Guzman had the base hit to start the 3rd inning and eventually scored.
Yeah, Ronald's average has been hovering around 200, but he's still had a lot of at-bats where he's looked good at the plate, taken some nice swings, and had hits late in the game that have been important hits. And he's learning every day, getting better, working at it, seeing pitchers he's never seen before with more talent than the pitchers he'd seen in the past, better breaking pitches, game plan, advanced scouting reports. Pitchers learning his weaknesses and him trying to adjust.
Little bouncer near second base and a short flip to the bag, and there will only be 1 out on the play.
Slowly hit ball off the handle, and it looked like probably the best chance was for, I guess it was Sanchez over there, to step on the bag and throw it, but not sure whether he surprised Anderson with that little flip, but by the time he got the flip, or vice versa, by the time the flip was made, there was no chance to get Guzman.
6-5 force out there at second base. Now Delino 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. He takes ball 1. Average now at an even 260 for him. 3 hits on this road trip. A couple of them doubles. One and one. Now before the game today, a ceremonial first pitch. Look at that young lady right there, Diamond DeShields. She was the 3rd overall pick of the WNBA draft. Going to play for the Chicago Sky. Delino says, yeah, that was good. Thumbs up. Way to go.
I've seen a lot of basketball players throw out the first pitch, and I haven't seen one guy yet throw the ball anywhere close to the way she just threw the ball.
Very natural looking.
So I think from now on, when we see basketball players throw, instead of saying threw like a girl, they'll say threw like a guy.
Ooh, potential double play gets away. DeShields heads for second. And he's in scoring position now. Can't assume the double play.
Well, everything looks good except the throw. The throw was to second in plenty of time. The throw back to first was just bad all the way. Anderson gave a good feed.
So it's a fielder's choice. And then an E4 allows Delano to take second. Guzman raced out there on the bases on the force out 6-4. So Chu with a base hit here could add a run.
Have you seen John Wall throw?
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Saw Shaq throw one the other day, and you know, his was serviceable, I guess. But the Lino sister, she wound up and threw that thing like she's played some baseball or softball.
And if I had to guess, I'd say she's probably played a lot of it.
Yeah, probably has. Definitely played some catch with her dad, probably with her brother as well. But that was a serious first pitch.
The error, by the way, is an E3. This one comes inside 1-1. So they charged the error to Abreu at first. Just for those of you trying to keep an accurate book. Chu with a base hit. One.
I'm always amazed when you see an elite athlete in another sport throw out the first pitch and look like they've never thrown a ball before. You would think even in their sport, unless maybe it was soccer, but you would think they would have picked up the ball like in basketball and thrown a baseball pass occasionally. Yet when they throw a baseball, maybe it's because the ball is so small in their giant hands. I don't know. But some of them look like it's the first time they've ever thrown a ball before. Baseball players, on the other hand, no matter what the other sport is, for the most part, a baseball player looked like a basketball player if he shot a ball, looked like a football player if he threw a ball. I think baseball is the toughest sport other than hockey for an athlete in another sport to try to duplicate. There's plenty of baseball players who on the basketball court would look just like a basketball player. Just like a good basketball player.
Well, Chu strikes out swinging to in the fifth inning. Rangers leave a man in scoring position. We're halfway there tonight, 1-0.
The matriarch of the DeShields family, and a big night for you, Tisha, as you're able to be here to watch your son Delino play and Diamond throw out the first pitch. You got to see the video because you were a little late to the game, but what's this experience been like for you?
Well, it's surreal. Their entire career has been surreal. We just take it one event at a time. I think that if I were able to process it all, I'd be overwhelmed. So we just enjoy the moment as the moment presents itself.
So Diamond whizzed that thing in there. We want to know where she got those throwing abilities.
You know, I'm not sure. You know, she's always had a tremendous arm. I mean, from middle school, she was throwing the football in between in halftime of football games. So she's always had a tremendous arm.
I will say this, I've asked Delino many times where he got his speed, and he immediately defers to you. There's some serious athletic genes going on in this family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just for the record, if he said I was the one that was responsible for the genes, just know I was the one that sent him the check.
So you're paying him to say that stuff?
Yes.
It's working, I'll tell you that. Well, enjoy the rest of the night. Hopefully Delino will be able to pull out a win with a good luck charm here in the stands.
Yes, absolutely. The best Mother's Day gift yet.
Absolutely. Great belated Mother's Day, guys.
Awesome. A little bouncer back up the middle. Nice stop there. And the juggle at first, but Guzman couldn't hold it. Garcia will go to second. Nearly a great play. A couple of times.
Well, Doug couldn't get his glove back to field the ball. And generally you say to a pitcher, don't try to field it with your bare hand, but that's just a little bouncer. I think what Doug knew it was a fast runner. He knew he bobbled it, but he had a little more time than he took. He hurried the throw, and obviously it bounced far enough out in front of Ronald where he had a hard time picking it up. That was a hot potato by both of them. A little more time to make the throw than he anticipated he was going to have. Not a hard hit ball, so his hand should be fine.
I take that quick check. Everybody okay? Well, that was very nearly a tremendous defensive play, and then it ends up with Garcia out there at second base. So a disappointing finish to it, disappointing result. And he represents the potential tying run. Little pop fly just beyond the cut of the infield, and Odor puts it away. So one pitch later, there are two gone. And Tim Anderson's at bat, a quick one. And our TXU Energy Power player to watch. Here's, hang on one second. Pfister and Trace Thompson here. I get excited sometimes. Our power player to watch is waiting on deck. So Tom, that's just like, hopefully we'll see him next inning.
I hope that's when we do see him.
That's the idea.
I'll have even longer to think about this. You've definitely put our viewers on alert.
Oh, you will never believe what we've got in store for you. Meanwhile, Thompson has a base hit. Comes up empty here, though, and the count is 0-2. It was fun to hear from Tisha DeShields. To the first pitch today from Diamond. It's amazing the athleticism in these families. Milano's family, so many superb athletes. And this guy at the plate, Trace Thompson, we talked about his brothers when he came up in the third inning. Clay Thompson right now in the playoffs with Golden State. Brother Michael formerly with the Lakers. It was outside, it's 2-2. full count. Pfister has not walked a hitter yet in this one tonight. Free passes have cropped up on him a couple of times this year. And this one bounced right side. Odor will take it on the high hop, and the inning is done. So nothing hurt. We've played 5 complete. The Rangers still lead 1-0. The Red Sox a half game back of the Yankees coming into play today. Baltimore in a big time scuffle to start the year. 13-29 coming into play. Well, first pitch swinging. Profar lost this into short right field, and Trace Thompson is there, 1 away.
Now, the White Sox have had trouble scoring runs this year. They've scored 3.8 runs per game. That's the lowest in the American League. The Rangers are right behind at 4 runs per game. And so I guess it's not surprising you would see pitchers doing well. Saw it in yesterday's game. Bartolo Colon was tremendous. Pitched well into the 8th inning. Didn't give up a run.
Yeah, Bartolo was, you want to say sharp as we've seen him all year, but we saw him take a
I know,
perfect game late in the game against the Astros.
Bergman was just as good as Bartolo for 7 innings. He was untouchable. Below average fastball and changeup was working pretty well for him yesterday.
Zara shoots it foul, 0-2 the count. So James Shields so far has done a good job of handling the Rangers in this one. You know, a couple years ago he had a lot of trouble though with a big 60. There it is. His one and only home run. As much as we enjoy Bartolo Colon, and everybody enjoys that great highlight from his career, if you're James Shields and you see that run and people always have a good time with it, is it one of those things just in the back of your mind you know it was you?
I think, I don't think it makes him mad, but I think he looks at it and smiles and says something like, "Why? I'm glad he did it, but why did it have to be against me?"
1-2. I saw, you know how it is with Bartolo, but after every outing he has, somebody carves up a new one. There's a new number, a new stat, and I don't know how new this one is in particular, but we try to put in perspective how long and prosperous a career it has been for him at times. How about this number? 4,628 players have made their big league debuts since he started his career. It's a lot of dudes.
A long time.
Oh my goodness. Two on the way. And that's strike three called. Nazara down looking. 2 away in the 6th inning.
Like Shields kind of came from a 3/4 delivery, almost not sidearm, but close to it, and just pounded that fastball right on the inside corner. Located exactly where he wanted to. Element of surprise right there.
A 2 away. Here is Joey Gallo. Hitless in 2 tries against James Shields, and he takes up and away.
You know, to a lesser degree, obviously, when you look at what James Shields has accomplished since 2007 when he came into the league. He's among the league leaders in Major League Baseball in all sorts of pitching categories, innings, strikeouts, starts. He's been durable, taken the ball, and had success for a long time. He's got to do it for about 10 more years to catch up with Bartolo for what he's done, but nevertheless, over a fairly extended period of time, James Shields ranks favorably with the best in the business.
Gets ahead here, 1-2. And there were some years in there too when he was running at his peak where he'd strike out 220 a year. He was a decent strikeout guy. He's racked up well over 2,000 in his career. This one fouled away. Maybe not as big a part of the game today for Shields as it once was. And you were talking about the offense. He's getting no run support this year. And look at the wins and losses for Shields, and nobody's going to have a good 1-loss record with his club this year so far. It's a swing and a miss, and there goes Gallo. The inning is done. Well, Shields gets through the 6th, 1-2-3. But still, Rangers 1, White Sox nothing. Buick dealer, and by LG OLED TV with AI BenQ. A beautiful sight here in Chicago. There's another beautiful sight, and that is the Rangers leading 1-0. As we get to work here in the bottom of the sixth. Top of the order for Chicago, Yohan Moncada, Yolmer Sanchez, and Jose Abreu. One and one. Tom, you might remember our TXU Energy power player to watch. Here he is, Yohan Moncada, averaging nearly 95 miles per hour exit velocity this year.
Well, again, we talked about him as a leadoff hitter with speed and power. That pretty much shows the power to barrel up the ball that he has. Pretty impressive for a leadoff hitter.
This one lined softly into center field. The Shields will gather it up. Moncada with a single to start the sixth inning. Yet another lead man aboard.
Yeah, Doug got the ball inside, but Moncada was still able to hit it fairly solidly into right center field. For a little contrast, in the middle of this 1-0 game, Ethan, our stat man extraordinaire, gave me a little note. 39 years ago today in Chicago, Phillies and the Cubs played a 23-22 game back in 1979.
This one lined to center. The Shields comes in to make the catch, and he's got a double play. The throw back to first, and Moncada hung out to dry. Another outfield assist for Delino DeShields.
Yeah, not much you can do about that if you're the White Sox. Moncada is running on the play. It's a hit and run play. Yolmer Sanchez smoked the ball right straight to Delino, and all he had to do was lob the ball in, get it there, and make sure that Ronald Guzman could catch it, as Moncada was all the way to second base and had no chance to get back. A nice turn of events after the line drive single, and a line drive hit even better than the single. Rangers end up with 2 outs. Those are good for your pitch count. Speaking of pitch count, the next pitch will be Doug's 80th pitch, so a solid pitch count in this game. We're talking about Abreu, the one veteran on this team, an all-star. If there's one guy in the lineup where you might say, don't let this guy beat you, this is the guy in this lineup.
It's this ball hard to center, and the Shields will have to take it on a hop. First hit of the night for Abreu.
Yeah, he hits a lot of balls like this. He uses an inside-out swing, keeps his hands close to his body, and allows him to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. And a lot of times when he hits the ball to center field or right center field, the ball slices a little bit. And that's because of the angle that the bat hits the ball with that inside-out swing.
The first pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike. We've had 9 combined hits in this game by these two teams. All 9 hits are singles. And buried, it's 1-1 to Nicky Delmonico. Delmonico had the single in the second. And hits this ball well out to right field. But Mazara's there. So the inning is done despite a couple of hits. The White Sox still have nothing to show for it, and we go to the 7th.
Take a look at James Shields, who has been outstanding in this ball game. He's had 6 strikeouts. He's used his curveball. He's used his changeup. There's a great curveball and a well-located fastball to go through 6 shutout innings. The Rangers have had a couple of hits in the game, a couple of walks, and Shields has been in command of this game as he heads to the 7th inning.
Well, he'll get Kiner Falefa to start things off. Then Rougned Odor and Robinson Chirinos. And he finds the outside corner for a strike.
The longest DeShields has pitched this year was a couple of starts ago against Minnesota. He pitched 6 2/3 innings.
Well, I mentioned earlier how durable he has been and how consistently deep he gets into games, but I was talking about it last inning. He has not gotten much in the way of run support, and today another very good example of that. Well, the first game of the season was the game he won, opening day at Kansas City. When he left the game after 6 innings, White Sox were leading 11-4. 11 runs of support, feeling pretty good. Next game, he left leading 6-3. That was here against Detroit. Now they lost the game. The bullpen couldn't hold it, but again, good run support. Left leading the game, so 17 runs of support in those first 2 games. Since then, I think he's had like 6 runs of support total.
Well, talking about him being in complete command of this game, which really he has, but he's still behind 1-0.
Off the plate, and he walks Kiner Falefa to start the 7th inning. So Rangers have that lead man on now for Rougned Odor. Yeah, so he's had, here it is, 8 runs in his last 6 starts. It's less than 2 runs of support on average.
The Rangers have only had 3 hits. 2 of them, though, came in the 3rd inning. Leadoff single by Ronald Guzman, sacrifice bunt by Delino, and then Schutz singled him in with a ground ball up the middle. That's it. Kiner Falefa had the other hit, a 2-out single in the 2nd.
First pitch to Odor a little bit tight. Rougned 0 for 1 is walked and struck out. For James Shields, that's kind of been part of the program for him in his career. Last year got a lot of run support, and despite the fact he didn't get nearly as many starts as he typically does, put up a good 1-loss record. Prior to that, though, no support. 2016. And that's 2nd lowest in baseball as he deals in and goes to 2-0 on Odor. Cause for concern, perhaps. Castillo out there to have a little conversation, maybe slow things down a little bit for Shields. They do have activity out in the White Sox bullpen. Pitch count, though, well enough in check. I don't know that, unless he walks another hitter per se, that Renteria would necessarily be moved to take him out. It's not like he's really done anything wrong in this game. He's exceeded 100 pitches in 4 of his starts this year. There's a little tapper back to the mound. Shields thinks of second, lobs to first instead, and they get Odor.
Yeah, that's a veteran move. I think he felt off the bat, even though it was a slowly hit ball, he's going to have a great shot at second base. Kiner Falefa gets a good secondary lead, a good jump, and he just didn't feel comfortable throwing it to second. And rather than maybe not have a grip on the ball and risk a bad throw, he got an out at first. So that's the name of the game. Get 1 out. Love to get the lead runner if you can, but if there's any doubt, make sure you get 1 out.
Well, our bullpen look brought to you by Southwest Airlines as you take a look at Luis Avilan, the left-hander, getting ready. Man at second, 1 out. Kind of Falefa runs the base as well. Chirinos 0 for 1. He's flat out to center and walked. Still good power for Chirinos. Belted 6 home runs. Takes way outside that one all the way to the backstop, and Kiner Falefa races ahead to third. Wild pitch.
That was all the way over in the opposite batter's box.
So that.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, as I say, I'll bring the infield in now.
Yep, in this kind of a game, the way they're scoring runs this year, the way they're not scoring runs this year, they feel like they can't afford to give up another one right here. 86th pitch coming up for Shields.
This one hooked foul. Strike 2. Look out. A great opportunity to add a big insurance run right here. Rangers have just 3 hits in the game. So far, it's been enough to get a run home. That's the only run of the game, and now a throw over to third. You don't see that one very often.
No, you don't. Pretty good move. It's like a left-hander with that kind of move throwing to first base. Same kind of a move. See many right-handers attempt that, though. You're right, Dave.
1-2. Fouled away again. Well, another tough and tight one here for both these teams. I feel like the Rangers play a lot of these, but then I saw what the White Sox have done this year, and I realized, well, not even close. White Sox 4-11 in one-run games this year. And that is the second most one-run losses in baseball. Rangers playing 500 ball in these really tight games. The Rangers won that opener in Houston 1-0. Swing and a miss, and Chirinos strikes out. We'll have to throw down to first. And they take care of Robinson, 2 away.
Seventh strikeout for Shields. Looked like a slider down and away. Nice job by Castillo backhanding it to keep it in front of him. Otherwise, that ball might have gone back to the screen just like the wild pitch that sent Isaiah to third base.
Well, it's the skipper, Rick Renteria, out there for that conversation. 2 mound visits in the inning. So often we say that when the manager heads out, it's to make a move. The body language is amazing, though, right? I mean, the way they go out, it's so obvious that it was not for a move, but instead to deliver some pretty keen instruction. Season high 7 strikeouts for Shields with that one.
That might have been a case where he was going out undecided. He does have a left-hander warmed up in the bullpen, but he might have gone out undecided and liked exactly what Shields said, the look on his face, and said, hey, he's a veteran, I'm going to let him go for it here.
Strike 1 on Guzman. So Shields having a nice day with the strikeouts, and those have been few and far between recently for him. You see, with strikeouts per 9, only 3 in Major League Baseball who get fewer. One of them we will see in this series, Lucas Giolito. Guzman off the end of the bat, roller up the middle. Handled by Anderson. And it ends the inning. 6-3 putout. Rangers leave a man at third. Well, they will stretch here tonight. Rangers leading 1-0. In Chicago, 1-0 our score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Davidson leading it off, and he will take one just a little bit low for a ball. Davidson, Wellington, Castillo, and Leori Garcia here in the 7th. Won the count. Davidson has popped up and rolled out. And that one beautifully placed on the outside corner. Well, we've talked a little bit tonight. A really good job done by James Shields. Doug Fister just quietly going about his business, putting 0 after 0 up on the scoreboard. He's allowed just 3 runners into scoring position, one of them on an error.
The thing I love the most about Doug is I love how quickly he works. He's got a game plan. He knows how he's going to pitch all the hitters. When he gets the ball back, he's on the mound ready to go again. Keeps his fielders on their toes. Good pace to the game when he's out there.
Broken back roller second. Odor might have to hustle.
That ball way in on the hands of Davidson.
1 out to start the 7th inning. Time for Chevy game break. Let's check in again with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. Here is Wellington Castillo. 0 for 2. He takes a strike.
Doug doing a nice job of pumping in strikes. That was his 91st pitch.
Broken bat again, and a soft liner to short.
Another bit of bad contact right there. This inning been amazing. Davidson's exit velocity on that ground ball was, who knows, 50, 60. And that one just shattered Wellington Castillo's bat. That's what that movement will do. Looks like a pitch that's going to be in there for a strike. Goes to swing at it, and it just shoots right in off the handle. Doug has really had that pitch working for him today. 1 out away from 7 shutout innings, and outstanding start on a day he wasn't even scheduled to pitch. Knew he was going to pitch today yesterday, and Cole Hamels came down with a stiff neck. And because of the off day, it worked out well. He's got his regular rest. Nevertheless, until yesterday, he was planning on pitching tomorrow.
The only inning in which he really had to work hard was the 3rd.
He is really dealing right now.
I mean, he looks like he could go another 5-6 innings.
He's just cruising. It's a cool night. I'm sure his energy is great right now. Hasn't had really a long inning. He's had a few base runners here and there, but he's had a couple of double plays in the game.
Yeah, that 3rd inning where he threw over 20 pitches. Well, partly because he had 3 strikeouts. He had to work a little bit to get those, but that was it.
He's had 3 strikeouts in the game. They all came in the 3rd inning. No walks.
The 0-2. That's fouled off. Well, if he gets this last out of the inning, it is, or will be, his longest start of the season. But it's also the 4th straight game now, which he has pitched into the 7th inning. It's 6 2/3 at Cleveland. Went 6 1/3 against Boston, and did the same thing again at Houston. And a swing and a miss is strike 3. He gets Garcia his 4th strikeout of the night, and he's thrown 7 shutout. When we come back, Delano DeShields, Shin-Soo Choo, and Jurickson Profar coming up. Just bring a Dr. Pepper can to the box office or use the online coupon code Dr. Pepper to get tickets starting at just $11. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials to get your tickets for Thursday, May 24th, when the Rangers faced the Royals. So here's DeShields to start things off in the 8th inning. Delano 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. And he takes ball 1. Last time he was up, we showed you the ceremonial first pitch by his sister Diamond. First round draft pick of the Chicago Sky in the WNBA. It was a foul ball to count 1-1. And we got to talk briefly to Tisha, his mom, who was a track star at the University of Tennessee, a heptathlete. And you know, you run track in the SEC, place like Tennessee, you're pretty athletic, and Delano has always said that's where his speed came from his mom.
I'm sure that's a big part of the genetical makeup that he has. But at the same time, his dad was a great athlete too. His dad was middle infielder, great base stealer, quickness. He played center field just like Delano moved to center field if he had to. Top of the order guy.
2-2 the count. In fact, Tisha, she was an All-American at Tennessee, so pretty good. Pretty good. And his sister Diamond, we saw her throw out the first pitch. Looked really, really good throwing out the first pitch. Obviously could play a little basketball.
The two kids and the dad were #1 draft choices, and the mom was an All-American. If they had a sport where you could be a #1 draft choice in track, she would have been probably.
Two on the way. It's a little bit tight.
That's the umpire shaking his head. Saw it all the way. Paul Nart behind the plate. If there's a pitch an umpire is going to be able to see perfectly, it's the one on the inside part of the plate to a right-hand hitter. Watch where he sets up. It's on that inside part of the plate.
This one down the right side and heading foul out of play. Oh, Delano stays alive. Rangers' 1 run came in the 3rd inning, and a big part of it was a sacrifice laid down by Delano. And it was fielded by the pitcher, James Shields. Nobody covered second base. It didn't look like Shields was worried about it. I think he was thinking of getting Delano all the way as he strikes him out looking here to start the 8th inning. One away. And now, a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
He does not want to come out of this game.
Well, he is going to have to come out of the game. So Shields, boy, I tell you what, he pitched a beauty tonight.
He got it all out with his glove over his mouth while the manager was on the way to the mound, but he pitched a beauty and he wanted to stay in there just like any pitcher would.
Lead here in the 8th inning, and MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Rangers home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and a whole lot more. Just go to MLB At Bat. Download it today. All right, Luis Avilan, the new pitcher for Chicago. Thought about it, was backing away, but takes a strike.
Take a a look at the numbers from Avilan. More hits than innings pitched. A few too many walks. Adds up to an ERA of 4.76, but 15 strikeouts in 11 innings is pretty good.
Tight. 1-1. So he gets the left-handed hitting Chu. And the Rangers send Profar, the switch hitter, and then two more lefties, Mazzara and Gallo. So Avilan might be out there a little bit. 1-1. Tight. Chu has the RBI single that was in the third. A game in which the Rangers have a run on 3 hits. White Sox scoreless so far tonight on 6 hits. Off the plate. 3-1. So Chu at tonight's game, you take the last 11 games has 10 hits and 45 at bats. 3-1. He fouls it back. It's a full count. James Shields, 7 1/3 tonight for the White Sox, but will not be enough. He left trailing 1-0. And Avilan's 3-2 pitch and a foul ball.
Slider stayed up, stayed on the inside part of the plate, never got down where he wanted it. Being a pretty good pitch for Shinsu. That's James Shields. Respectful of the manager's decision, but definitely not happy with it.
Bouncer left side. That one is through. Base hit. Chu with his second hit of the night.
Yeah, both ground balls found holes in the infield. One went to the right side of second base. That one to the left side of second base. Fastball. Chu goes the other way, and see a lot of room over there. But that one went between the two fielders.
Don Cooper, longtime pitching coach here in Chicago, out to the mound here after one batter. We'll have a long conversation with Avilan and the rest of the infield. There's Coop. Very well respected. Boy, they have had a lot of success with pitchers here under his tutelage. Avilan, a new face to the club this year. He was a Dodger last year. Came over to the White Sox as part of a 3-team deal in January this year, just after New Year's. And he was used a lot by the Dodgers last season, over 60 times out of the bullpen. So Profar, that right side of the plate.
Jerkson's only had 31 at-bats right-handed, 99 at-bats left-handed. And he's driven in more runs in the fewer at-bats right-handed than he has left-handed. Hitting about 160 points higher right-handed.
Another look at Chu. Let's have a stolen base. Well, there you see the difference. The numbers for Profar. Listen, 3 tries so far in this one tonight. Early infield double play depth. Pitch on the way. Floats in there for a strike.
Interesting stat on the scoreboard for Avilan. did not allow an earned run in 35 consecutive games for the 2013 Braves. It's the 4th longest streak in big league history. I bet no one knew that.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
This one popped up.
I bet he did, though.
I bet he probably did. Abreu takes care of it. 2 away. Hey, Rangers fans, come on out May 24th for an autograph session with Nomar Mazara, the Whataburger at 3204 Town East Boulevard in Mesquite. It's 10:30 a.m. Now, while there, sign up to be the Whataburger What a Fan, and you could win tickets to a Rangers game and Whataburger for a year. Go to TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information. I believe that is our first Whataburger appearance of the season. Always a popular day, and a chance to say hello to Nomar. Now Mazara's 0 for 3. And Avilan bounces that one up there. Wow, the throw down to first nearly got away from Abreu. And Castillo trying not to laugh about it. Oof. Hey, next time throw it to me.
He showed some wide range for that ball. He was going the other way. Had to reach back the other way to catch that ball and knock it down.
One 1-0 to Mazara. Avilan again throws over there. Boy, they are fascinated with Chu.
Yeah. I must think he's on his way to stealing 60 bases.
Meanwhile, you combine the efforts of both these teams tonight. They've had 23 at-bats with men on base. And the two teams have combined for 2 hits in those 23 at-bats. That's a good lead right there for Chu. They're not going. 1-1. Good pitching tonight on both sides. Avilan very deliberate between deliveries. This is a little bit in. I mentioned earlier, Tom, that Avilan was part of a 3-team trade in January. Every time I see these things written up, right, in media guides, confuse the heck out of me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, this guy's going to this team. We have 4 players going from that one, and then this guy in a bag of balls is going to head over there, and it's almost like that little shell game. I can't keep track of who's going where. Chopper, first base, and that one's a base hit. Nobody home out there in the right field corner. Chu around third. He'll head to the plate, and no throw offered. All the way to third is Mazara. Wow, and it is 2-0 Rangers. You talk about finding some real estate. There was just nobody home down there.
Yeah, that was a well-placed chopper. It looked like it had some top spin on it because even though it wasn't hit very hard, it still rolled a long way. And Thompson goes over to get it. By the time he got down the line to get this ball, Chu was going to score easily. Tony Beasley waved him around all the way. Moncada got the ball, didn't know what to do with it. He looked home, he looked at third base a couple times, and then pretty much after Nomar reached third base, he launched it toward third.
A triple for Mazara. First for him since July 1st of last year. How about this? So his last triple was July 1st last season. You don't expect him to hit a lot of them. But he got that triple here. Same ballpark.
Wow.
it just really plays to that part of his game. And now Gallo takes one of the dirt. 1-1. 2 runs, 5 hits. Rangers have made an error. They have stranded 6 so far tonight. Meanwhile, the White Sox, no runs on 6 hits. They've made 1 error and stranded 3. Gallo takes in. Oh, on the corner. 1-2.
Borderline.
Go in. This one out to center field, slicing away, and then a diving stop. Garcia, what a play. And that ends the inning. Gallo robbed on that low liner. But the Rangers had a run. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
James Shields was terrific himself, but he's touched up in the 3rd inning by a Shin-Soo Choo RBI single, and then in the 8th by a chopper down the right field line that brings Choo in. Triple for Nomar Mazara. Look at the game summary for Shields and Pfister. Very impressive. Shields pitched into the 8th. Doug went 7. Between the 2 of them, they only gave up 1 run. Doug didn't walk anybody, struck out 4, 97 pitches, 98 pitches. Very efficient outings for both starting pitchers. And Doug Pfister was at his best tonight. Good stuff, great outing.
So now Jose Leclerc goes to work in the 8th. It's 15th appearance of the year.
And the good numbers, 14 innings and a 130 opponent's batting average.
This one popped back our direction. Oh my goodness. Dropped on the dudes right below our booth. The guy took it off the shoulder. But he held his beer.
Did you see it coming?
Oh yeah. He was ready for it. He was going to be a hero, but he's going to have a bruise now. Ground ball left side, and Kiner Falefa takes care of it. And Anderson retired, 1 away. Okay, our Lowe's whole team together. The Rangers bullpen this year, you look at the innings pitched by man, and Leclerc right there with a little better than 14 innings so far. Jesse Chavez leading the way. Now for a team that has racked up a ton of innings in their bullpen, well, they've spread it out pretty evenly.
And they've benefited by the nice outing by Bartolo Colon yesterday and Doug Fister today. Guys late in the bullpen will end up getting in both games, but other guys who have thrown quite a bit, combine that with an off day a few days ago. They did have a long game and some bullpen usage in the first game in Seattle, but the 2 games after that and the off day before it should provide some pretty good rest for most of the guys out in the bullpen.
0-2. Put it up there. All 1 on Trace Thompson. Thompson 1 for 2. Two and 2 the count. Well, Leclerc, one of the guys pitching well lately out of the pen, taking over some late inning responsibilities. A little more on him. Let's check in again with Emily.
Leclerc says he feels like he's pitching the same as he was last year, but there's a newfound confidence because of the experience that he did have last year. He can call on that. He said now he feels less nervous and now more excited because he's better prepared and he can trust himself a little bit more than he did maybe in the past.
And he strikes out Thompson 2 away. There you go. Good example of it right there.
Yeah, and I think what he's talking about to Emily, feeling more confident, more relaxed, is leading him to being able to throw more quality pitches for strikes. Just has much better command. He's not as nervous, not as jittery, more relaxed. And with the stuff that he's got, he should feel very confident that he can get big league hitters out. Because there's a whole lot of relief pitchers that would love to have the stuff that he does.
Well, he's taking care of the first 2. Now Yoan Moncada. And Moncada takes one off the plate. 2 hits tonight for the switch hitting second baseman. He's also struck out. Kind of a weird night for Moncada too, because the first inning he was picked off after he had singled to start the game, picked off with 2 outs. Then in the 6th inning had another leadoff hit and was doubled up on a line drive to center field. Not really a whole lot he could have done about that. He was in motion and the ball was smoked out there to the Shields. This ball ripped over first. That's more than a base hit for Moncada. Good speed. He heads to second. Ball is stuck though under the padding. Moncada being waved, but this is going to bring him back.
The umpire is going to have to go down and check it. Nomar immediately put his arms up. The umpire will go down and see if that is a legitimate use, and he's going to agree with Nomar. You see the ball is wedged underneath. If Nomar goes to try to take that ball out, then the ball is in play. And when it's wedged underneath, you can see the umpire have a little bit of a problem getting it out from under there. When he first tried to get it, it was stuck. You see a wedge right underneath there. When that happens, the best thing you can do as a fielder is to raise your arms and let the umpire know that there's nothing you can do to that ball.
Yeah, we've seen in the past, we've seen guys do that on a ball that rolls under the padding, but is not actually lodged under the padding, right? Because there's just enough of a clearance that the ball's just sitting under it, but not really stuck. And when an umpire goes out there and picks it up, well, it's not stuck. It's not being held here at all. And when you do that, you get in trouble. But you could tell the way that one stuck in there because it was hit so hard. You knew that there was some good pressure there. Enough anyway that you could make the argument. So that's a really good play. And Rick Renteria is saying, come on. Those are frustrating. I get it. Because even if that thing comes off that wall cleanly, pretty good chance Moncada has a triple. Right? I mean, he had a great arm out there right here.
We saw Nomar get a triple on one down the line, so yeah, I think there was a pretty good chance he would get a triple.
Here's Yolmer Sanchez. 2 outs. Man in scoring position though for the White Sox. Sanchez 0 for 3 today. stung a ball in the 6th inning, but right to the shields. One and one. Well, this is the first game of this 4-game series. Seems like we've been loading up on 4-game series in this early part of 2018. The first 2 series of the year were 4-game series. Houston to open it in Arlington, and then we went off to Oakland for 4. Right in there, and it's 1 and 2. Well, they announced a crowd tonight of 17,666. Guaranteed rate field. They have not had a lot to hoot and holler about. That one gets away. Moncada will head to third. And so now with 2 away, they have a man just 90 feet away. Like a cross up there.
Sanchez has been swinging a hot bat. 350 in 12 games in May coming into the game, so he's swinging it. You know, Abreu's swinging it, the next hitter. Moncada's 3 hits today. He's been hot as well, so they don't score much, but the top 3 guys in the lineup are all swinging the bats well right now.
Little tapper right back to Leclerc, and that one's thrown away. Moncada scores, and Sanchez goes to second base.
Well, it was a high chopper. Sanchez can run. It looked like Jose wanted to make sure he took enough time to make an accurate throw. But by taking a little bit of time, gave Sanchez a chance to get closer to the base, and then the throw goes up the line and into the runner, and Guzman just couldn't stretch to catch this ball, because if he did, he was going to get blasted by the runner coming by him. You see the ball go right into the runner. That ball's got to be 3 feet on the other side of the base, so that when Guzman goes to stretch for it, he's stretching towards second base and not right into the runner.
Well, now a mound visit. Doug Brocail trotting out there. The intentional walk offered to Abreu, so he is at first now, setting up a force on any of the 3 bases out there. So it was a pass ball. They got Moncada to third base. Not that that would have mattered a whole lot. And then an error, a throwing error on Leclerc. Second error of the night by the Rangers. Both of them charged against Rangers pitchers. Doug Fister picked up an error earlier in the ballgame. That was back in the 5th. Some challenging plays at first base tonight for the Condor. Well, the intentional walk. Nicky Delmonico, the left-handed hitter, will be the next man for Leclerc.
If a first baseman stretches to catch that ball, those are the ones where he gets hurt, when the runner runs into an outstretched glove arm.
Delmonico tried to hold off. One for 3 in this one. Well, the tying run out there at second. The go-ahead run at first for the White Sox. Rangers lead by a run. Two and 0. Just referencing it, Tom, the guys at the top of the order for the White Sox have all but swung the bats pretty well. Nicky Delmonico, however, their cleanup hitter, has really been cold lately. In here in a very big spot. Already does have one hit tonight. And he takes a strike. It's 2-1. Delmonico had just 3 hits in the last 8 games, 3 for 24. And 35 games this season, 1 home run for him. And last year, I mentioned it, had 9 homers in 43 games. Three and one.
All off-speed pitches to Delmonico. No fastballs.
No, it looked like he was in control. They got the ground out of Tim Anderson. Struck out Trace Thompson. Okada hit the double that lodged under the padding out there in right field. The throwing error, the intentional walk, and now a dangerous 3-1 count. Here it comes. That one right in there. It's a full count.
Another off-speed pitch.
All right, Kevin Jepson getting ready. Runners will be off on the pitch. Sanchez off second, Abreu off first. The 3-2. And a high pop foul back behind home plate.
Looked like a slider. 86 miles an hour. Kind of a backup slider. Looked like a strike, though. Didn't break back toward the plate, but it looked like it was right on the outside corner. Delmonico had to swing at it.
Another 3-2. And another foul ball. Delmonico, initially a 6th-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles back in 2011, and just couldn't quite get to the big leagues. Bumped around their minor league system for several years, then finally signed by the White Sox as a free agent in 2015. A lot of injuries over the years in his minor league career. Whoa.
Boy.
Oh boy.
That's a pretty good take right there. After a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-2 pitch, borderline pitch, off-speed pitch. He was able to take it. Fooled by it, but still able to take that pitch. Boy, that's one. If you're a pitcher, you want that one.
Oh boy, look, you can see Banny in the background. Wow.
Almost took himself right out of that inning by taking that pitch, but the call went his way.
That is a huge one. You see Paul Nauert, man, he was stuck. He got jammed up there. It looked like he was caught between. He didn't know what to do. But called it ball 4, so now they are loaded. Davidson started after it, but wow. I was going to say did not go, but on appeal, DJ Rayburn said he did go. You see Sanchez third, Abreu second, Delmonico at first. An error, an intentional walk, and then a long at bat that ended up in a walk. A run already in. That looked good. Strike called. Count 0-2.
Two more off-speed pitches for strikes. Even though he's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, if you're Davidson, you still know he's throwing 96 miles an hour, so you've got to honor the fastball a little bit too.
Well, a long inning for Leclerc. He's allowed to run, loaded the bases. Now the 27th pitch. He delivers. 1-2.
No doubt what his go-to pitch is when he's in trouble. We've seen it this inning for sure. That's a changeup.
Davidson strikes out a lot, although tonight 0 for 3. A couple of groundouts and a pop out. Clerk's 1-2. 2-2. A lot of borderline pitches, a lot of close calls. Two young teams off to slow starts this year and battling it out in a one-run game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another 2-2. And it's a full count. Oh boy. A lot of activity coming on this one.
Virtually every pitch to Delmonico and Davidson's been off speed, except the 196-mile-an-hour fastball 3-2 that Delmonico fouled off. Now, all 5 of these pitches to Davidson have been off speed. You've got to throw whatever you have to throw here to throw a strike.
Runners everywhere, and they'll be taken off. There they go, the 3-2. Ball 4, and we are tied up. Here comes Jeff Bannister. And this is a walk he was not anticipating making tonight. And my guess is he's going to stay out here for a long time and hope that Paul Nart comes out, because he might have a word or two for him. Well, that is it for Leclerc. Both starters were great tonight, and neither will be a factor in the decision.
We stand ready to serve all military families.
Well, there you see it, a tie game, bases loaded. Kevin Jepson is on to pitch for the Rangers, but here's what happened while we were at break. You see Jeff Bannister was waiting for Nart to come out there. Nart wouldn't. Nart was telling him, please, let's not have this conversation. All right, here we go. And then it really got interesting. These two went nose to nose for a few minutes.
Well, you know that Banny knows where that pitch was that Delmonico took on the 3-2 pitch. Looked like it was a strike. Obviously, the Rangers, all big league teams have replay capabilities. Although I don't think Banny's surprised to hear that it looked like a strike. He jumped up from the dugout the minute it was called a ball. You could tell from the dugout it was high enough. And sometimes they go your way, so they go your way, sometimes they don't. Umpires have a tough job. That was a close pitch. And unfortunately, it went the way of the White Sox.
Well, and you still had a chance to get out of the inning.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. That didn't score a run.
Well, it was the subsequent walk to Davidson, and now Jepson takes over. Castillo fouls off strike one.
Numbers for Kevin this year. This will be his 20th ball game. Appeared in a lot of games, but not a lot of innings. Only 16 innings in the 19 appearances. End this 8th inning.
Strike pitch, and Castillo lifts this one out to the gap right field. DeShields can't get to it. 2 runs are in, and just like that, the White Sox are on top 4-2. My goodness. That's a heartbreaking 8th inning.
Well, you just look at the way the inning started. You get Tim Anderson right off the bat on a weak ground ball. Strike out Thompson on a great pitch. Nobody on, 2 outs. And then it obviously fell apart after that. Jose didn't help himself when he threw the ball away on the little tapper from Sanchez. The borderline pitch was called a ball and not a strike. And then 6 straight off-speed pitches to Matt Davidson. Walked in the tying run. And Castillo greeted Kevin Jepson with that 2-run hit.
Kept thinking after off-speed that Leclerc, whether it by design or not, had really set himself up for the fastball, right? A chance to just blow one past him.
Well, he tried that to Delmonico. Delmonico fouled it off after all off-speed pitches, but he mixed in one. That at bat, I don't believe, unless I missed one, that he mixed in any.
One and one the count. Garcia takes low. Good block back there by Chirinos. 2-1. Four to 2. Chicago has done all of their scoring in this 8th inning, and all of it with 2 out. 2-out double, followed by a 2-out error, followed by 3 walks and a single. Ninth batter of the inning. And this one lofted out into short left field. Gallo coming in. He's got it. And the inning is done. But a 4-run 8th for Chicago. White Sox lead by 2. Kind of full effort to start things off in the 9th as the Rangers try to rally. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. All right, last chance for the Rangers. All of a sudden here in this 9th inning, down by 2. What a wild one tonight. A 4-run bottom of the 8th inning has given the White Sox the advantage. Maybe the 6, 7, and 8 batters for the Rangers. And Nate Jones making his 17th appearance.
Got pretty good numbers for Nate Jones. He'll be going for his 2nd save. Joakim Soria has 4 saves for the White Sox. Obviously, they don't have very many. They haven't won many ball games. Jones with big fastball, mid to upper 90s, and an unusual delivery. The way he breaks his hands and brings his throwing hand right straight back out of the glove, kind of exposing the ball. You don't see many guys. In fact, you don't see any guys in the American League anyway break their hands like this.
Whoa. 2 really wild-looking pitches. The second of which hits Kiner Falefa, so the Rangers get the potential tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning no matter what.
The White Sox get 4 unearned runs and take a lead, come out for the next inning, and right off the bat, this is what happens. The Rangers try to put together the same kind of rally the White Sox put together. Get some base runners and get that one key hit when you need it.
All right, so the lead man on. Well, this is the opening game of this series. Take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Tomorrow and Saturday nights, games here. And then Sunday afternoon, we'll wrap up the series. And it's back home, Yankees and Royals coming to town. The lead man on for Rougned Odor. Jones from that stretch. Fires that one way outside. So that's 3. Really not even close.
No, I think he's a little jittery right now, trying to adjust his temperament for the opportunity he's got to save this ball game. A little anxious right now.
Popped up. Right along that first baseline. Brayu tucks it away.
He hadn't thrown a pitch close to a strike. That was a borderline pitch. It looked like a ball. A little bit high, maybe. No, right at the top of the strike zone. He had a good swing at it. Just got underneath it a little bit.
One out, and here is Chirinos. Kiner Falefa holding close to the bag over there at first. Jones, a tall right-hander from Butler, Kentucky. He gets that one in there for a strike. Chirinos has walked. He's also struck out and flied out. Last year when we came here to Chicago, we saw some, I guess this seemed like weird games. The opener of that series last year here. The White Sox came from 3 down in the 8th inning and won that game. Today it was a 2-0 Rangers lead in the 8th inning. And again, the White Sox have come from behind, but this one lined out to center field. That's a base hit. And so the tying runs are on in the 9th.
A high slider that kind of flattened out. Robinson lined it into the outfield for a base hit. So Rangers coming right back here, down by 2, but they've got a couple of men on. Ronald Guzman's had some good at bats on this trip. He's the go-ahead run at the plate. Top of the order coming up after this.
2 men aboard, and Guzman, we talked about it at the open of the broadcast, very early in the broadcast anyway. He's had some big spots late in games and has found a way to deliver. In fact, had a go-ahead RBI the other day in Seattle. As you see Rua taking over there at first base for Chirinos. Good speed out there, good base running. 9th inning, tying runs on. Bouncer, first base, tough play. Abreu knocks it down. And I don't know what's going on. Guzman never left home plate.
He said it hit his foot. I mean, generally, if a batter hits a ball like that and never moves and then says it hit his foot, I didn't think it hit his foot, but I gotta believe him because he didn't even take one step out of the batter's box. It's tough to tell from that. I'll just go by Ronald's actions after this ball's hit. If it didn't hit him, if it didn't hit him, he's going to take steps out of the box and run to first base. He's not going to stop like that and try to fake that the ball hit him. I don't know if it'll get overturned, but I have to believe that this ball hit him in the front foot.
Boy,
it sure looked like it.
Yeah, it did look like it right there.
Just his reaction to it, which leads you to believe that it hit him.
And where's the baseball? You would think either there'd be some shoe polish on it or it'd be carved up one of those spikes.
I think the way that hit, there's a possibility of that.
They're not even going to consider it.
You know, they didn't see it. And the way the ball went out to first base, it didn't look like it hit his foot. It looked like a normal ground ball to first base. But the way he reacted to it, it just really leads me to believe that that hit his foot. It's not going to change anything, but I just don't think he would have stayed in the box if it didn't hit him.
Meanwhile, both runners advance, but 2 outs now. And the Shields takes a ball. So certainly not an ideal result, not even close, but get to the outfield.
Drop a base hit in there and they'll pick up a couple of runs. Just like the White Sox did.
One out. That'll even the count.
97 miles an hour. Jones has a big fastball. Line pitch right on the inside corner. That's a good pitch to take right there until you get 2 strikes on there.
One and 2. So the Rangers are down to their final strike. Boy, crazy one tonight. Such great starting pitching on both sides. You would have felt horrible for either starter, however it ended up. But because of the way this one played out, they won't be involved in the decision. A 4-run 8th inning. Rangers, though, a hit away from tying it here in the 9th. The 1-2. We'll see another pitch.
And really all you have to do is go back to the 4th batter of the 8th inning for the White Sox after Moncada had the harmless double down the right field line with 2 outs. Leclerc had the 3rd out on the chopper back to him. He took time, but he had plenty of time to make the throw. He just threw a bad throw to first base. And as it turned out, so far, that's the difference in the game. Well, that led to the difference in the game. That would have been the 3rd out, 4th hitter of the 8th inning. But the bad throw just allowed a lot of other things to happen after that.
Kiner Falefa, third base, got on, hit by a pitch. 1 out later, Chirino singled and Rua took over as the pinch runner. He's at second. 1-2. A swing and a miss, strike 3, and this one is going to be a tough one to accept tonight. 4-2, the final score for the White Sox, just their 4th win at home this year. Well, a chance tomorrow to get back after it again. Our series probables brought to you by Ford. We are still unsure who will make the start tomorrow for the Rangers. Carson Fulmer scheduled to have the ball for Chicago. Moore and Giolito scheduled for Saturday. Minor and Lopez on Sunday. But really, let's be honest, Moore and Minor, those are subject to whatever happens tomorrow. For now, that look pretty much sums it up for the Rangers. 4-2. Our final score tonight. Stay with us. John Radigan, Mark McLemore, Mike Bassett back in the studios. They'll do their best to try and make sense of it all for you tonight. For Tom Grieve, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Thank you for joining us tonight. Stay with us. More coverage coming up right after this.